What is up, Disney nerds? Today, I figured why not give my spoiler-free review of Creed 3. I saw it on Friday night, and yeah, I figured why not do it, so let's jump right into it. So right off the bat, I actually really like this movie. Jonathan Majors, for me, is incredible. I just love the dynamic between Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan, to be honest. And Michael B. Jordan has actually come out and said that he wants to team up with Jonathan Majors in kind of like an Al Pacino and Robert De Niro type of way. And honestly, I'm all for that. I would love to see this happen because in this movie, they have great chemistry. This movie is basically, you know, they were great friends, then they haven't seen each other in a long time, and then they come back and they basically, you know, fight each other for the championship. And that's all I'm gonna really say without giving any spoilers. But this movie was, honestly, it was really good. And yeah, basically I'm going to split it up like how I normally do. So let's jump right into that. Starting off with plot, I'm giving this movie a 5 out of 5 for plot. Honestly, this kind of reminded me of Revenge of the Sith if it was a boxing movie. And I know that sounds incredibly weird, but it kind of does. And I gotta say, from start to finish, I was on the edge of my seat with a few times. I love the style. Even though this movie did scare me because of Sylvester Stallone not being in it, because if he doesn't own the rights to Rocky, he said he wouldn't be in this movie. And that kind of made me nervous, but without him, honestly, like it wasn't that bad, and it was actually really good. But needless to say, this movie was still great, and the plot was just terrific. So definitely a 5 out of 5 for plot. Visual, I'm giving that a 4.5 out of 5. The fighting scenes in this were incredible. Michael B. Jordan said he was going to take some inspiration from anime, and the final fight scene, honestly, was just amazing. The cinematography for this movie is incredible. I love the visual, like, kind of aspects of Rocky, where it goes into, like, a realistic, or of Creed, where it goes into like a realistic type of feel. And this, it has that vibe to it where it's realistic, but then the fighting scenes just feel like, I don't know, like it's so cool. Like, I just love the way that Michael B. Jordan handled the fighting scenes in this movie, because it was definitely different from any of the Rocky franchise fighting scenes. For acting, I'm giving this movie a 4.5 out of 5. There is a lot that happens in this movie, and definitely everyone has their time to shine. Tessa Thompson, Michael B. Jordan, and Jonathan Majors. They were the best actors by far in this movie. Also, Creed's mother was very great in this movie. I love the way Jonathan Majors can act, because in Avengers King Dynasty, he was just brutally like a villain. And then you got Devotion, where he was actually like a good guy, and then you got this where, again, like he was kind of like a character that you were like a little bit of like a nasty person that you wouldn't really want to be like associated with, cause like that's why I said it's kind of like Revenge of the Sith. Their whole dynamic reminds me of Obi-Wan versus Anakin. I love the way Jonathan Majors can act in this film. And I always love the way Michael B. Jordan acts in these types of movies. And Tessa Thompson brings a great acting to this movie. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there was an Oscar nomination for one of these three actors in 2024, I believe. So yeah, it definitely was a good acting performance by all three of them. Soundtrack, I'm giving a 4 out of 5. The soundtrack was pretty good, especially the final fight scene. We finally got to hear that classy Rocky theme, and I'm glad they kind of brought that back, because I did not hear that in the first or second Creed movie. And when I heard it, I was like, oh my god, that's the OG Rocky theme song. And I was glad that they put that in there. And of course, you got a few of the montage scenes with the Q songs that were pretty good. So overall, like, I mean, the soundtrack was really good. 4 out of 5. Nothing amazing, but it was still really good that I was on, like, oh, this really fits the theme, and I wasn't, like, bored of the soundtrack. Action of the movie, I'm giving a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Like I said, those fight scenes were incredible, and the final fight scene was one of my favorite fights in any Rocky franchise. It definitely goes Ivan Drago versus Rocky, then Ivan Drago versus Apollo, and then it would be this. Those are my top 3 fight scenes of any Creed Rocky franchise, and this was absolutely amazing. With 100%, the fighting scenes were nothing like I've seen before in a Creed or Rocky franchise movie, and it just felt action-packed with those fighting scenes that I was just like, oh my god, that's insane. It was really good. I'm probably being a bit too much with the action, but I can't believe, like, that scene, it was just so good. And enjoyment, our last category, is obviously a 5 out of 5. I enjoyed this movie so much, to the point that I was about to put it over Rocky 1, but it's not, it's below Rocky 1. But this movie was so good. I enjoyed every second of it. I could not stop cheering on for Apollo Creed. I love this whole backstory. This movie definitely gives you a whole backstory to Adonis Creed, and his whole backstory was just, it was something. Like, it actually gave a story, because I felt like in the first 2 Creed movies, you didn't really get to know Adonis Creed's backstory too much, and in this one it definitely gave, like, a lot of that. So I'm very thankful that this movie definitely explained that. So yeah, enjoyment 5 out of 5. And overall, I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5. It's almost a 5 out of 5. It's very close to being that. But it's a 4.5. It's not exactly a 5 out of 5 movie, but it is really good. Now, if I was to rank all the Rocky movies currently, I'm going Rocky 4, Rocky 2, Rocky 1, and then I would put Creed 3 right below Rocky 1. So it's definitely high on the list for the Rocky Creed franchise. This movie's definitely really good, and I would recommend it in theaters. Compared to as home, I would watch this movie in theaters for sure. I enjoyed every second, like I said. So this movie definitely, without a doubt, was incredible. You get to see Adonis Creed's backstory. You get everything that I could have wanted in a Creed movie. Except there wasn't Rocky, which I understand, the whole Sylvester Stallone, you know, contract deal, stuff like that. I get that. But this movie, without a doubt, was really good, and I would recommend you guys see it. So yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for watching the video. If you made it this long, please like and subscribe. We also went to Kalahari, so check out that video, please, and the link in the description below. With that being said, Teasing it out. Peace!